We have just a few days remaining in 2020, and this has been, by all accounts, the most challenging year any of us have ever faced as educators. It's been tough for teachers, constantly innovating and providing learning remotely, and it's been a challenge for our students. Mia Martinez knows this all too well. Mia is the student member of the Board of Education of Frederick County, and I appreciate her joining me for this conversation. Mia, as a senior in Frederick County Public Schools, what have you missed the most during this school year?
So we've been in a virtual setting, so there's been lots of different things that I was expecting for my senior year that haven't really happened. But I think what I miss the most is the extracurriculars. I played field hockey and I was in a ton of clubs in school, and really having that community to lean back on was something that I always looked forward to every single school year. So that has been a little bit hard, but we've still been able to meet virtually with extracurriculars, although it has been difficult to fill out anything that we usually would have done. But it's still nice to be able to talk to my peers in that sense.
So you can still make a connection, but it's very different. And I think adults who are doing similar things recognize that. And I think it's also important to remember that it hasn't just been this school year. You spent the last quarter of your junior year with a lot of those opportunities removed as well. So a lot of people have said to me, well, Dr. Albin, we hear you talking about hybrid and starting on January 28th, but all the cases are rising, and why would you be thinking about doing this now? And we're looking at all of the data and we're monitoring things closely, but I'm very mindful of the fact that this has had a devastating impact on our students. You talked about some of the social elements of it, but we are seeing an incredible amount of failure. A lot of students, 4 times as many students failing classes this year as we saw in previous years. And so I think from an academic perspective, students are struggling as well. And could you give us some insight as to why you think that's happening?
Yeah, for sure. I know that we were accustomed to learning in the classroom, and I know a lot of my peers have reached out to me and told me that they are struggling. A lot of it has to do with motivation. Because you're at home, it's so easy to just grab your computer and then listen to your class while you're in bed, which is not typically ideal because your bed is where you sleep, not where you learn. And so just having that motivation to go onto a Google Meet and then also do work on top of that while staying home, I think has just been very difficult for students. And they've reached out to me and told me, hey, this just isn't working for me, and I really wish that I could at least talk to my teachers one-on-one, and I feel like I'm not doing as well as I used to. They tell me that they used to be a student who had no problem in that sense. But it's been difficult. I know that students have just expressed that hybrid seems like the better option for them.
So the hybrid model means a little bit of each, and the reality is students would only be in school 2 days a week. You would have to remain socially distanced. You would have to keep masks on. But yet a lot of kids are saying, that's okay, we'll take that. Why do you think that is?
I think that they just miss it so much. It's been months since we've been back in a school environment, which seems so odd because it was so normal before. So even just getting a little bit, I know that students would love that, and just being able to see their teachers, talk to them, as well as see their friends. That has changed completely, not being able to see their friends every day. And although a hybrid model would only be twice a week, they would at least still get that interaction and be able to collaborate a little bit better than online.
Have you had a chance to talk to any of the students who have been able to do in-person opportunities at CTC, at the Career Tech Center?
A few, yes, I have, and they've told me that it's been great. They've been able to get that hands-on that they need. I know that a lot of the programs that CTC has is great, but harder in a virtual environment. They're very hands-on. And so the fact that they are able to go in to really broaden their learning a little bit more has been good. And I've had a couple students reach out to me and tell me that they've really enjoyed being able to be back in their CTC classroom.
And I'm really proud of the fact that CTC has had over 660 students who have been coming back since the middle of September, and they're divided into 4 cohorts. And one of the things that I think the teachers have shared, the students are so happy to be in the building, to be face-to-face, to have those opportunities, that following those protocols, because a lot of people worry, you know, okay, are the high school kids really going to wear their mask appropriately? Are they going to stay socially distanced? But at the CTC, a lot of the teachers have said they're so grateful for the opportunity to be back that they are willing to do whatever they need to keep themselves and others safe. So Mia, as the student member of the board and as the superintendent, we both get a lot of questions about, with, you know, there being more positivity rate in the county and more cases per 100,000, why are you thinking about doing this now? And I've heard you, as an advocate for students on the board, answer that question. Why now, Mia?
So this is very unknown, and so I've heard lots of students reach out to me and still say that they're struggling, and I hear that, and I really just need to advocate for what they're telling me. And so at least having that plan set in place is a great start for that. Other than that, it's very unknown. We're still in December. January could be completely different. So as long as we're keeping track of it and making sure that metrics are okay, and I've let my peers know that it all depends on metrics and we will be tracking it. But at least having the plan approved is a step to getting my peers and I back into schools.
So I think one of the things that people don't realize is that for our small group instruction, we've been bringing about 3,000 students into our buildings. And as we transition to the hybrid model, we knew that for many parents, their children are quite happy in the virtual model. They're doing very well. And so we've had about 40% of our parents say, I want to stay with virtual. So that means 60% of our students will be coming back for hybrid, and we have 2 cohorts. So we're only going to have about 30% of our student population coming into our buildings every day. And so I think a lot of people, when they think about, you know, oh, the students are coming back, are thinking about students coming back when the whole class is there, or it's going to be half of my students in that classroom. But it's really only going to be about half of a little over half of your class. And so again, the sizes in the classes and a lot of the protocols that we've put in place for small groups are going to translate very easily into the protocols that we'll have in place for the hybrid model. Those are the things that we're going to keep our eye on, and when 2021 gets here, we'll see what decisions we can make and hopefully address the many, many compelling needs that we have out there among our student body. Thank you as always, Mia, for your incredible advocacy for students. You do a fabulous job of gathering their feedback and making sure that student voice is always a part of our board meetings. So I thank you so much for the work you do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Albin, for having me. It's been great.